What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the most recent physique update from Roman Fritz. So is there any other IFBB pro out there who changes faster than Roman? So the fact that this is only his third week of dieting, being in the prep, and looking this good, this lean, and this ripped, if he keeps on pushing, I think he can be ready for this upcoming France Pro show. Because this right here is a crazy good condition. Now I know not as ripped as Roman normally is, not as per his own standards, but still, the man is looking good enough. So I like the fact that Roman is very realistic on where he's at in comparison with the sport and the competition right now. And this comment highlights that he knows the competition isn't the same as it was used to be back in 2022 or 2023 when he won his first pro show. And that was the big man weekend, and he qualified for the Olympia that year. And by the way, he got a chance to stand next to the Olympia champion that year, Derek Lunsford. Now we can continue to go down the list of those guys who qualified for the Olympia last year and the year before that, and they weren't able to perform that well this year. So Roman is gonna take his time rebuilding his physique before he decides to jump into a show. Now we all know his squats have always been phenomenal. One of the best out there. He has great overall X-frame, but he definitely needs bigger arms, more chest and more back. So overall more thickness, more mass and more density in his upper half. Before you scroll or blink too hard, have you subscribed yet? Please don't make me bring out the emotional blackmail. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. It's free, it's painless, and that makes me look way cooler than I actually am. So one of the most anticipated men's open debut this year, that is gonna be of Stephane Qualify, who was spotted training in Dubai. Now I'm not sure whether he's going for this upcoming Europa Pro Germany, but he's 100% doing France Pro, which is an Olympia qualifier for next year. Now something very special is in the making for Stephane and his men's open bodybuilding debut, as the man has been looking superb throughout this prep and throughout the off-season. Now at this point, we cannot make a prediction on where he's gonna place on his Olympia debut. But with those round muscle bellies, that crazy muscle quality, the kind of striations that he has, the depth and the density in his physique, that is something that is matched by only a few guys in the entire men's open at the moment. And not just in the men's open, across the entire pro league. So I do believe he can 100% wow the judges at this year's France Pro show. Now these predictions, they do not really mean anything, but just for the sake of argument, Milos rated his physique so high that he actually put Stephane in first place at this upcoming Italy Pro show. So that prediction was obviously made before the official list came out. And Stephane was looking in such an incredible shape that all of us thought that he will be doing this upcoming European tour. And that means all three of the shows. But at this point, it kind of seems like he's going for only one. So from the front, Stephane is gonna be very competitive. He just stood next to Theo Lagverrier, a 3 times former Olympian, and the man was looking pretty damn crazy in that update. So it's really his back, which is gonna be a decisive factor on how high can he place in the men's open bodybuilding. And that is also something that he brought up a lot in this past one off season. So a beautiful physique like that, who by the way won the Portugal Pro last year in Classic, that deserves to be on the Olympia stage. And it will be very thrilling experience to see that same physique with those beautiful lines, but with all that added muscle, added tissue of roughly 25 pounds. So 2026 is gonna be the year for Vlad's return to the open bodybuilding stage one more time. So if we make a list of those guys who are true freaks of nature in the men's open, especially in today's era, Vlad definitely makes it into the list. One of the most freaky man in the entire bodybuilding at the moment. He has got that unbelievable mass, and we saw how he also brought a phenomenal condition last year at Chicago Pro and then at Tampa Pro. Especially the physique that he presented in Chicago, where he pushed Muhammad Fauda for the win. And the craziest thing about this guy is that he hasn't even turned 30 yet, and still he looks so dense, So mature and so freaky. Now for those of you guys who do not know, he has already qualified for the Olympia before and he has been on the Olympia stage. So Vlad's physique last year, that was his best to date. He was looking more streamlined than ever before. And contrary to previous year, he had a good symmetry as well. So he can definitely win some shows if he chooses them more strategically and also bring up his quads from the front to create that X-frame and also to hide that wide waistline. Now we can all agree that Vlad has posted some of the most freaky bodybuilding updates in the last few years, and up until last year's Chicago Pro, many fans were calling him only an Instagram bodybuilder, but he earned the respect of everyone last year. So Francisco Espin, who also works with Angel Calderon and Rubiel Mosquera, he's the one coaching him right now, and the man did an awesome job with him last year. Next up, we have an update from Rubiel Mosquera aka Neckzilla, working his way to his Olympia debut, which is happening in 5 weeks time. So one of the most anticipated Olympia debut of this year, along with Good Vito. So he has kind of a similar story as the mutant Nick Walker. Both of these guys were trolled heavily online because they ended up dropping out of shows. So Rubiel dropped out of more shows in one season than anyone could have imagined. But what a superb comeback by him this year. First of all at Dubai Pro, where he showed his commitment to bodybuilding. And then he went on to win 2 shows back to back, also beating a guy like Nathan Diasha. So first time seeing this incredible shot of Rubiel from the stage, and I must say, he has some of the best abs in the men's open bodybuilding right now. So at this point for Rubiel, it's all a matter of how much peeled and how much detailed he can come in for his Olympia debut this year. The fact is, the mass and the muscle, that isn't a concern for him. He already has that covered. Because for those of you guys who do not know, he weighs somewhere close to 290 pounds on the stage. And if losing a bit of size, that brings a deeper separation, not just all over his physique, but also in his quads, that will be well worth the trade. So he's also a super poser, and he perfectly fits the definition of mass with class. So Rubiel also hit that amazing vacuum on the stage. And just imagine if he comes in drastically better than what we saw at Portugal Pro this year, when he absolutely cleaned house throughout that competition. So if he can do that, can Rubiel be top 10 this year at the Olympia? So the reigning Arnold champion Mike Sommerfeld has arrived in the US, and he's gonna be training with his coach Neil Hill for these upcoming weeks to make sure he brings his all-time best to this year's Olympia stage, the Olympia in which he's coming in as the favorite. Just take a look at the striations on his quads, and the man is over 5 weeks out, so plenty of time to fine-tune things and dial it all in. So he's supposed to be inside out shredded at the Olympia stage, and the man is doing everything right. So classic physique division is where Mike belongs. And yes, I know he can be a great 212 competitor and maybe an open bodybuilder too. But why would he switch over to a division where the chances of him being the Olympia champion are far less? The fact is, he cannot beat Keon Pearson. So eventually we might see Mike Sommerfeld switching over, possibly to 212 or even in the men's open. But for now, the man is focused on winning this year's Classic Physique Olympia title. So it's that unmatched density and that crazy muscle quality, because of which many people think Mike is gonna be the standout on this year's Olympia stage in Classic, and rightfully so. So you might have a different definition of Classic physique or what Classic should be. But if you look at Mike's physique and try to find a weakness there, I'm gonna say there isn't any, except that he might need a bit more hamstrings. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.